The day after graduation, my class and I set off on a charter bus to Chicago. We had been planning the trip for months, and I was so excited. These are my friends, Brittany and Rebecca, happy to be arriving in the Windy City. We wasted no time in settling into our hotel room. Here are Jesse and Sid on the bed, and Marley enjoying a slice of pizza. Our first event of the trip was the Blue Man Group. Even though I was very tired from the extremely long drive, the show was so engaging I had no trouble staying awake. This is a picture of us with one of the Blue Men. The next stop was Willis Tower, formerly known as the Sears Tower. The Chicago skyline was breathtaking. We spent a lot of time just taking pictures in front of it. This is a picture of myself, Samantha, and Rebecca. We even stayed at the Willis Tower for the sunset. One of our biggest events was the trip to the Shed Aquarium. It was so much fun. We got to see so many different types of aquatic life and even a marine mammal show. This is a picture of everyone who went on the trip at the show. I was very attached to this particular fish. He swam right up to the glass when I went to look at him. Here are two of our amazing chaperones, Mrs. Hesslink and Mrs. Perkins, standing outside the jellyfish exhibit. They were always up for anything, and I think had as much fun as we did. One of my favorite parts of the trip was getting to see a Chicago Cubs baseball game. My entire family and I have always been huge Cubs fans, so I was excited to finally see them in person. My friend Brittany is not a fan of the Cubs, but we made peace for this picture. Caitlin, however, is a big Cubs fan, and she was just as excited as I was. Even though they ended up losing, we still sang the victory song when we got back on our bus. Everyone had a great time at the game, regardless of who they were rooting for. My class and I also visited Adler Planetarium. It was a perfect place to be on what happened to be a cool and rainy day. This picture is of Paul, me, and Samantha by the night sky. One of the coolest things about the planetarium was that they had a dress-up area where we could play ancient astronomer. Sid was really getting into it. Here are all the Capricorns standing by the Capricorn pillar at the planetarium: Rebecca, Brittany, and I. On the final day of our trip, we went out for traditional Chicago-style pizza. It was amazing. I ate 3 pieces, and we all made sure to sign our names on the wall. Of course, our trip would not have been a success if it weren't for our wonderful tour guide, Shelley. She was so good to us. She knew exactly where we were going and could handle with ease any situation we threw at her. She was truly a godsend on this trip. The trip to Chicago was a great experience for me, and I think it was for the others who went as well. It really gave us an opportunity to be together as a class one last time before we all went our separate ways. Now we are spread out across the state and even the country, but we will always have this trip to look back on and remember the Rudyard High School class of 2011.
When I came to call, you'd be